What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pat Chennington, and I thought I would make a video just talking about the insanity of a lineup that was announced this week for Electronicon 3, which will be happening in August of this year, back in New York. We're coming back to the city, and I am very excited. For those who don't know, before I get into it all, for those who don't know, Electronicon is pretty much the only Vaporwave festival that's happened in the past, and it's kind of the only one that's just a thing. At least does it, really, really well. George and 100% Electronica started this thing in 2019, and the first one was in New York, and it was a blast, and they did another one in LA that year, and it was also, from what I heard, a blast. I wasn't able to go to the second one, unfortunately, but COVID came. I'm sure they had more plans to make a bunch more, and it just never happened. But now it looks like we're back. Birds are chirping, sun's out. Hopefully we get a good sunny day. That first New York one was just the most gorgeous day in the world, and I'm hoping we get the same for here. But before we begin, if it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button. You know the deal. Helps the channel out a whole bunch. And I just thought I'd kind of just, speak my mind and go through the lineup, who I'm excited to see, who I'm the most excited to see. Even though I'm excited to see everybody on here, but there definitely is a couple that I'm just mind blown or on the lineup. It's really, really cool. And there's a bunch too that weren't on the lineup this time around that were in 1 and 2, which is understandable. Obviously they want to bring new heads in and try new stuff. I'm kind of surprised, I guess, on some of the picks that they left out, but knowing 100% Electronica, they probably got some stuff up their sleeve with that little and more at the bottom. So who knows who's coming back and who will be here again from those previous festivals. But yeah, let's jump into it. For those who don't know, once again, Electronicon, big Vaporwave festival. Everyone comes together for it. There's a ton of merch. Record labels go there, fans, artists. It's just it's literally the online Vaporwave scene community in just one spot, and it's surreal just putting faces to names. So many people by their Twitter handle or whatever, or their Bandcamp artist name, and then they're just a regular person. It's pretty, I don't know, it's strange, but it's cool, and it's really cool, and I'm very excited. I will definitely be there. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Let's go through the whole lineup. There's a bunch of names here that were at previous festivals for Electronicon, and then there's also a bunch that are brand spanking new. George Clanton, obviously. Can't have Electronicon without George Clanton. If you've been to a George Clanton show, you know how amazing they are. I think what makes George one of the best performers I've ever seen live is, obviously you go to concerts and, bands that you see or artists that you see perform, they love what they do, but George loves what he does, and I think that energy just gets translated into his live sets so much, and most of his music, that chill wave with a little sprinkle of Vaporwave in there. His sound, you wouldn't think oh, this is gonna go real hard in a live scene, people aren't gonna be jumping all around, and no, this motherfucker he jumps in the crowd, he gets all scraped up and shit. He broke his leg at one show. He's a nut, George, and I'm really thankful to just have him exist on this planet, in this universe, that you can go to a George Clanton show. It's pretty great. So yeah, if you haven't seen George Clanton live yet, this is definitely a great chance. If you're going to Electronicon, definitely go to George Clanton's set. He's going to be, I'm sure, one of the headlines. Obviously, he's at the top of the lineup. You know what it is with these festivals. If you're at the top of the lineup, you're important. So. But then again, not really, because Luxury Elite and Giant Claw are at the bottom, and Luxury Elite is one of the most important Vaporwave artists, I think, in the history of the whole thing. So next up, Washed Out, which is really surprising. One of the artists I was really surprised to see on here, because they're not really Vaporwave at all, but they are, though, because if you listen to their sound, there's so many artists out there that have a Vaporwave sound, whether they were intentionally going for it or not, and whatnot. And lately, their EP. Not lately, currently their EP. Their EP called Lately from a bunch of years back. I love that thing when that came out. I used to rock it in college all the time, and it would be cool to see them live. So that's pretty exciting. I love how 100% Electronica is really just trying to expand who they're going to get for these shows. just really try and grab, other sounds and bring in new communities and whatnot. It always works for the best, just grabbing new people and just meshing sounds together. So Washed Out should be very exciting, and it's an after hours DJ set. And if they did what they did at Electronicon 1, they really let the whole festival go super late, because the festival ended at like 10, I think, and then there was the after party, which was, I believe, Terminally Chill ran it, the Philly show ran by Skeleton Lipstick. And if it's after hours DJ set, I wonder if they're going to be doing like a whole block, because then Neon Indian's up right next and it says after hours DJ set. So I don't know, I guess it'll just be another Electronicon after party kind of thing, which is cool. I think they would work really well for an after party. Just bring the dance vibes in and, get the night like started at that point. So that is definitely really cool to see Washed Out, and then obviously Neon Indian as well. Just like two sounds that I'm very surprised are going to be at Electronicon, but then again, not really, because George is just trying to expand everything. So really, really cool on that. And then we got Death's Dynamic Shroud. Obviously, I will be at the Death's Dynamic Shroud. Like everybody, I think, will be at the Death's Dynamic Shroud set. Their first one at Electronicon, the first one, I think I talk about it all the time whenever I stream or just talk about Electronicon stories, was amazing. Their just energy, and like it was nighttime, and like you saw, the city in the background, and it was on a rooftop. And I know this new venue now, the Knockdown Center in Queens, it's outdoors for the most part. I think it might be all outdoors. I looked up a couple pictures the other day, but I didn't really look up too many. Like that setting for DDS, like outside, hopefully it's at nighttime again, and they're just going to kill it. So Death's Dynamic Shroud has a new album underway as well. They've been doing all the mixtape stuff, and 100% Electronica is pushing them super hard, and not surprising, they're super talented, and just a lot of good stuff coming out from them. So if you want to see a really powerful, dynamic, just emotional set at Electronicon, if you're going, definitely check out Death's Dynamic Shroud. Then we got Negative Gemini, Negi Gemi, coming up right next. Negative Gemini 2 kills it live. I saw her perform at a 100% Electronica show a while back, and it was just like a bunch of 100% Electronica artists. It was her, George, Surfing, Satin Sheets was there. George did an Esprit set, and she too, just like George, is really animated, really loves what she does, and just like runs all over the stage and gets really into it. And that's always the most like magnetic set to see live, I think. It's just like watching artists really just come out of their body, like out of their shell, and really get into what they do, because they love it so much. So you feel that like love and passion for everything with Negative Gemini. So really exciting there. Small Black, another artist, really being it's a group, I think, being pushed by 100% Electronica. I like saying 100% Electronica after a while. It doesn't even sound like a word. I don't know. I've seen it I've seen 100% Electronica so many times this week. I'm like forgetting how to even pronounce it. I don't know. I'm like half asleep too. I had a long day today. I had to go into the city for work, and I'm like just dead. But yeah, Small Black. I think they're really all the artists on here that the label has been trying to push in the past like year or so. Obviously, you're getting a spot. FM's Skyline is there. Picture Plane, Equip. Got St. Pepsi. I mean, can't go wrong with St. Pepsi. You got to get St. If you're doing a Vaporwave, like, big show in New York City, obviously you got to get St. Pepsi in there. So I did not actually see St. Pepsi live the first Electronicon, because I was on the rooftop seeing Death's Dynamic Shroud. There was George Clanton and then St. Pepsi. I think that was the order. And that was like on the main stage at the first Electronicon. And then Death's Dynamic Shroud was on the roof. And I was there. A bunch of people were at the St. Pepsi George Clanton set, which is obviously totally cool. But I didn't want to pass up on Death's Dynamic Shroud. But this time I will be going to see St. Pepsi. Hopefully it doesn't cross paths with the DDS set. But St. Pepsi, Vaporwave legend, Future Funk legend, out of New York. Real great dude. And exciting to see that he will be coming back. Cowgirl Clue, I honestly, no pun intended, I don't have a clue who this. I don't know who this is. I have to check out their music because I've never heard of Cowgirl Clue before. It might be one of those artists that, like, you know me, there's just these groups of artists that I like everybody loves and knows, and like I just haven't even heard of them before. So it might be one of those. So forgive me if it's like some super big artist. I don't know. But Cowgirl Clue, I have to check out so I know what they're all about before I go. Surfing is also awesome from Australia. The duo mixes live instrumentation with Vaporwave sound. I've seen them a couple times. I think I first saw them too at that 100% Electronica show from a couple years ago. Two real great dudes, and they are super talented. They're just more classic Vaporwave. Deep Fantasy is just a legendary album, and it's cool to see them perform hits off of that and everything they got, since then. So Hotel Pools is another pretty surprising one. Synthwave, real great artist. Lots of cool physicals coming out from Hotel Pools recently. I follow them on Twitter, and they have really cool, like, beautifully designed cassettes and vinyl and stuff. So that's another artist I think I definitely want to see. I want to see everybody, and that's the thing. When eventually there'll be like the times that'll come out for each artist, I'm sure, and it's gonna be tough to, I don't know, pick who I'm gonna see. It's going to be hard, like, putting artists on the chopping block here. But, yeah. Picture Plane up next. Another artist just recently been super heavy on 100% Electronica. Their sets look really cool, too. I've never seen them live, but the video I've seen, it's just another artist that really just gets into what they do and elevates their sound to a live setting to be way more energetic and, like, kind of like party starting. Equip. I love Equip. Equip's my boy. Equip will be playing. Jacked Equip, by the way. Equip's been hitting the gym, looking good. Like, I'm excited. I miss it. Equip's a great dude. One of the first interviews I've done on the channel was with Equip, and I don't know. I love watching his streams. He does like his video game streams on the 100% Electronica channel. Really fun guy. Really talented artist who mixes like Vaporwave and video games and that whole sound and aesthetic into a perfect blend, and that should be another great set. I think I saw him at the first one. I believe I did. I think he was on the rooftop is where he performed. I'm not 100% sure, but if I get a chance, I will definitely come by Mark and see. Wait, no, not Mark. I'm sorry. Mark is I always get R23X and Equip mixed up. Equip is Kevin. I always get him mixed up. But yeah, Kevin, I will try my best to come to that set. And then the boy, Vape Error, the laptop smasher. This dude smashed his laptop after the set at Electronicon 2 in LA. And I was able to catch some of his set at the first Electronicon. Really pumped up vapor trap computer sounds all over the place. And that's another one of those crazy pumped up sets that is just wild to be at these shows. So somebody lend him a laptop because he's gonna need one after that last performance. FM Skyline, I love FM Skeezy. FM Skyline was the first artist I met at 100% at Electronicon 1. We were like two of the first artists that got there to set up our shit to get ready to perform later in the night. I actually played at the after party. And real great dude, putting out really great stuff. Illuminations, one of my favorite albums from last year. If you've seen my video on my top 5 albums from 2021, you know that Illuminations is there. So, yeah, FM Skyline's really gone a long way. Next up, we got Uniwa, who is literally dropping his new album on my record label this Friday. By the time this video is out, it should be out already. So if you want to hear some real good like synthwave kind of stuff from Uniwa, definitely check out the new album, catskillrecords.bandcamp.com. Download it digital. And yeah, really great stuff. Uniwa, that's another exciting one. I'm sure he's going to play a lot of Future Funk, though, because a lot of people know him for Future Funk. So there's really no Future Funk on this lineup, like besides St. Pepsi for whatever you want to call Future Funk of his. I don't know. Vitesse X, one of the artists I'm really excited to see. I'm so bummed out I didn't get to go to the show in Brooklyn that just happened a couple weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, not even. They recently released something on 100% Electronica, which has been really, really good. I've been bumming that album a lot. It's getting a lot of attention. And supposedly the live show is really good. Fake Fever went to it, and he told me it was just a really, really good performance. So I will definitely be at the Vitesse X set. And then Caroline Loveglow, another artist, 100% Electronica, has been doing some great stuff with. I haven't really listened to too much Caroline Loveglow. I think I did when they first premiered it, but I do have to check out more because I really liked it at the time. Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night. This is by far the artist I am most excited to see. Not just because I dropped, the desert stuff on the label and we're pretty good friends and whatnot. It's one of those artists that I think it's going to be one of those just like transcending sets. Like they're going to place this dude, as like the sun's going down. They better. Like they got to set up the vibe perfectly for like Slushwave. What they do with Telepath too at the first one, it's got to be like the same shit, the same setup. So yeah, Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night. I would say the king of Slushwave, in my opinion. Just has taken the scene so far and just introduced new artists to so many people and putting out real great stuff. So Desert, I am very excited to see your set. That will be awesome. And then I would say the other set I'm the most excited to see, Luxury Elite. Luxury Elite, like super, low key. I don't think he's ever done a live set before. It's just one of those just vaporwave, just legends that has put out so much stuff and has provided so much music for so many people. Everyone's like flipping out about that. So definitely we'll be seeing Lux and Giant Claw. So Keith Rankin will be there doing a Giant Claw set. I wonder if he's gonna have his little drum pad and kind of do what he does. Which also opens up the opportunity for, I'm assuming, the first ever live, like all three members of Death's Dynamic Shroud performing. I don't think they've ever done all three live at the same time before. It's kind of just a given that they should be doing that at this. So hopefully we see that, all three of them and how they work together. Because James and Tech, the other two members of DDS, the chemistry is amazing between those two. So to throw a third one in there, especially when James and Tech like really nail it, I don't know where else, you can add into like just the glory of a DDS set. I'm excited to see because Keith is super talented and it will be exciting to see what he brings. But yeah, that's the lineup. There is the and more. I know there are a couple more announcements coming, so we'll see what else they bring to the Electronicon Festival, how many more artists are coming, who's going to be back from last time. One artist I really wish was on this lineup is Cat System Corp, because they played at LA on the second one, and I didn't get a chance to go to that one, and I've always wanted to see Cat Corp live and, of course, meet him. Really good friend, I would say, of mine, and someone I look up to in the Vaporwave world. I can't complain at all. Like, this lineup is incredible, and that they really sat down and was like, all right, like, some artists, like, we got to give the chopping block for this. Like, I'm sure they had so many artists they wanted to add to this thing, and then, with time constraints and who they could actually fit for a day, a festival like this, if they really wanted, could go for like 4 days straight. Like, there's so many big artists, I think, that could bring so many people. But still, I feel like even though it's the third Electronicon, it still feels like we're in the experimental stage of it all. And I'm sure George and the whole team are still like just testing the waters and seeing how this all works. Like, I don't know. His vision is not fully there yet. Like, he's building it. Like, he's just slowly building it up. And I think one day, we'll really see this thing. It's just getting bigger and bigger, and we'll see, tons and tons of artists. But, I mean, you can't complain at all with this lineup. It is amazing. There's so much diversity and so many just legendary sounds. And, wow, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited. Let me know what you think. Who are you most excited to see? If you're going, if you're not going. Which artist do you wish made the bill? And, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of just ramble for a little bit. Like, no script and just, I don't know, talk. Econ is always exciting to talk about. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of stories that come out of this one. So, yeah, but that is all. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for spending some time. And, yeah, hopefully I see you at Electronicon. I will be there. That's it. That's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Much love. Your boy, Pat Chennington.